Right, it is the 29th of November 2013. Thank you so much for making time for Citizen at 1. My name is Willis Sabura. Our top story this hour. Tension is mounting in Turkana as Boycott youths barricade Kitale-Lodwar Highway to protest against the growing insecurity along the Boycott-Turkana border. Several passengers are stranded in Kapenguria and Kitale towns as the irate youths stone vehicles heading to Lodwar town. According to the police, more officers have been dispatched to quell the situation. Michael Njenga has the details. We do apologize for that. We'll give you that story a bit later on. But fear has gripped Kwadina Trading Center in Webuye after 2 watchmen guarding a patrol station were beheaded by gangsters. The guards were manning jackass-filling patrol station situated some few kilometers away from the Webuye police station. The attackers dumped the bodies in a ditch. Now, confirming the incident, Webuye police boss Willie Simba said the thugs could have been targeting a nearby M-Pesa shop. Shocked residents led by the county representative John Nyahururu called for thorough investigations into the incident and to ensure that those responsible are brought to book. The headless bodies were later transferred to Webuye District Hospital mortuary. Now, Chief Justice Dr. Willie Mutunga wants politicians and political parties to clean up the mess in electoral processes instead of overloading the judiciary with disputes that could be handled outside the courts. Speaking at the launch of the handbook in election disputes this morning, the Chief Justice said confidence in the judiciary was being eroded because of wrong perceptions that could be avoided where politicians and political parties need to ensure a maturity in democracy. At the same time, the chairman of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Isaac Hassan, criticized the judiciary for delays in delivering rulings on petition appeals, therefore negatively affecting the commission's work.
I'm happy to report that the High Court and the Subordinate Court have successfully dealt with all the 188 petitions that were filed after the general elections, and they completed them within the timelines set in the Constitution.
What the judiciary has been able to achieve and what the judiciary has been able to show as the way forward in terms of handling disputes involving an election is quite commendable, and I think we are very happy about it. The only issue which probably the members of the bar and I think the members of the public may have had reservations is the manner in which the Supreme Court handled the presidential election petition. Although I know there was time constraint, which is again imposed by the Constitution, but I think given an opportunity, the bar feels that an election petition may have been handled in a slightly different manner.
The Commission intends to engage with the Judiciary Working Committee on Elections and the Chief Justice because, my Lord, there has been a lot of problems we had with judgments coming from the courts, the High Court, very late injunctions coming late in the day, disrupting the electoral process, the Court of Appeal giving judgments 5 days or 6 days to general elections after the Commission has committed public funds into the by-elections and many more issues that we want to raise with you. And therefore, it's an appeal from the Commission that we do have a meeting with your committee so that we can be able to give you the list of complaints that we have and hope that you can then address as the chair of the committee.
How do you expect any court in this country to decide a dispute and the losers say that they are satisfied. The losers, in fact, when they lose election, they say their votes have been stolen. How do you expect the court to basically convince the loser that there was justice? My view is that we need to think through that. Let the politicians deal with their shit. Let's find out whether the politicians can't, with their political parties, their tribunals, adopt ideas, and they create a culture of elite consensus within their activities if we are going to save the institution from damage.
Right. Let's reset for you now and revisit our top story. Tension is mounting in Turkana as Pokot youths barricade the Kitale-Lodwar highway to protest against the growing insecurity along the Pokot-Turkana border. Several passengers are stranded in Kapenguria and Kitale towns as the irate youths stone vehicles heading to Lodwar town. Now, according to police, more officers have been dispatched to quell the situation. And here now is Michael Njenga with the details of that story.
Just a few days after
at the Great Rift Valley Lodge in Naivasha, top agriculture ministry officials
by Pokot militiamen armed Pokot youth are at it again, this time barricading Kitale-Lodwar highway. Last night, the youths attacked motorists and stone vehicles, smashing windows of a bus ferrying passengers from Lodwar to Kitale. They also looted and robbed the passengers.
Gari yetu moja imekuwa hijacked na wakapora abiria kila kitu ambacho walikuwa nacho. Ililazimu pia mimi kukatisha safari yangu hapa Lodwar.
Passengers coming from Lodwar, Kainuk, Kapenguria and Kitale are now stranded since the road is completely barricaded. The bus owners are now calling on the government to give them reinforcement to escort their vehicles. The problem, which began last week, is now getting out of hand, with area leaders calling on the government to add more security personnel to reinforce the already overwhelmed police service said to be ill-equipped.
Ajaribu operation hiyo ndio itaweza kuamua kutuliza haya, kwa sababu silaha ya haramu ni mingi sana hapa kushinda hata ya serikali.
But even as the government has imposed a curfew in South Turkana and North Pokot counties, mainly in the areas of Kainuk, Nakwamoru and Lorokon, the unanswered question is, why is the government not able to deal with this group of non-militiamen who have now taken law into their hands, causing mayhem? Michael Njenga, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Nidi will be following up on that story for you in our subsequent bulletins, so you can follow at Njenga Mike and at Citizen TV News. And of course, you can also watch this www.citizentv.co.ke/live. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers has maintained its stance against marking this year's Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations. KUPPET Chair Omboko Milemba says the union members were not going to mark the national examinations unless Kenya National Examination Council increases their allowances by 300% over and above, improving the conditions teachers are subjected to while marking the crucial exams.
KUPPET Chairman Omboko Milemba was speaking at Langalanga Secondary School in Nakuru, where he had attended the union's Nakuru annual general meeting. Accompanied by other union officials, Milemba said that the union members, comprising teachers in secondary schools and other tertiary institutions, would boycott the marking of this year's KCSE exams unless the Kenya National Examinations Council increased their allowances.
And the teachers of Kenya have made a resolve that unless one Kenya National Examination Council increases the marking fee by 300%, unless Kenya National Examination Council pays our center organizers who are headmasters and deputies, unless Kenya National Examination Council increases the out-of-pocket from 100 to 1,000,
The union also wants NEC to increase their daily out-of-pocket allowance from the current 100 shillings to 1,000 shillings and improve general working conditions during the entire marking period, among other demands.
Our teachers are going to be housed in dormitories where the living conditions are not good, where they will spend on double deckers, where they will be having a mattress of 2-inch. Kenya must know this. And will be covering themselves with a bed sheet of students and a blanket of students which cannot cover the entire body. Kenya should know this.
The members also reiterated that they were not ready to be coerced into marking the exams by what they termed as intimidation from the employer, the Teachers Service Commission. Patrick Njendi, Citizen at 1.
Now, an insufficient number of magistrates has contributed to a huge backlog of cases at the Nyahururu law courts. Nyahururu Court Users Committee said the delay in dispensing cases has greatly contributed to the current congestion at the Thompson Falls GK prison, which now has over 476 inmates, 3 times the required capacity.
Nyahururu law courts have only 2 magistrates. This is according to Nyahururu Acting Principal Magistrate Peter Muholi. Speaking when the Court Users Committee visited Nyahururu Thompson Falls GK prison, he said that for close to a half a year, the court has only been operating with 2 magistrates.
Wengine wawili. Sasa tutakuwa mahakimu 4 kuanzia Jumatatu ambayo inakuja. Na kwa sababu tumeongezewa, natumai ya kwamba tutaweza kumaliza kesi zile ambazo bado ziko kotini. Tutajitahidi na tuweze kumaliza.
This shortage, he says, has made Nyahururu courts experience challenges in handling court cases. He, however, expressed optimism that once more magistrates were deployed, the situation would be under control. The Court Users Committee challenged members of the public to embrace reformed inmates leaving prison and offer them any necessary support to ensure they do not go back to crime. For Citizen at 1, I'm Zedi Kosgei.
Right, now 11 elephants went on the rampage, destroying crops in farms near Tsavo National Park in Voi. The elephants invaded the farms after destroying the park's electric fence, and now residents living near the park have fled their homes. Let's take a look.
Gunshots rented the air, bringing business near Voi town to a standstill. About 11 elephants had earlier today invaded farms near the Tsavo National Park. It took a contingent of Kenya Wildlife Services rangers to round up the animals using their heavy machinery. The elephants invaded the farms after destroying the park's electric fence. Residents of Sophia, Railway and Kasarani villages were forced to flee from their homes. KWS officials who managed to contain the situation urged residents living near the national park to avoid engaging in any night activities. Brenda Cheriot, Citizen at 1.
Now, as Kenya's mark 50 years of independence, the children of Kungu Karumba, who was among the Kapenguria 6 prominent freedom fighters detained by the colonial government, are still seeking answers to the disappearance of their father 40 years ago. Karumba left Nairobi on the 13th of October 1974 for Jinja